Now my feelings for you are real. Will you accept me? My feelings for you are real. I'm saying that plainly without decoration because truth doesn't benefit from exaggeration. If anything, it gets weaker when it's dressed up. What I'm offering here isn't intensity or pressure, it's clarity. And clarity is the only thing that lasts once emotion settles and reality takes its place. I didn't arrive at this quickly, I noticed it forming. The way durable things formed quietly, consistently, without demanding attention. I watched how my thoughts behaved when your name appeared. They didn't rush, they aligned. That's how I knew this was an impulse. Impulse wants movement, alignment wants stability. When I say my feelings are real, I mean they've been tested by time, not amplified by moments. They've survived ordinary days, they've held steady when nothing special was happening. That's where I pay attention. Anyone can feel something during excitement. Very few things remain when the noise fades. This remained. I want you to understand that I don't confuse wanting with choosing. Wanting is reactive. Choosing is deliberate. I choose carefully because I build carefully. Everything. I value ideas, work, relationships, gets the same treatment. I don't throw energy at things and hope they work. I design for sustainability. That's how I approach this. I noticed how being connected to you didn't create urgency in me. It created focus. I wasn't distracted or pulled away from what matters. I was more precise about it. Precision is a signal of alignment. When something fits, it doesn't compete for attention. It integrates. You integrate it. I'm not offering fantasy. I'm offering something that functions, something that shows up consistently, handles pressure, and doesn't collapse when conditions change. My feelings didn't arrive as fireworks. They arrived. Attraction, the kind that keeps moving forward even when the road isn't smooth. That matters to me. I also want you to know that I don't measure closeness by volume. I don't need constant communication to feel connected. I look at reliability. I look at how something holds over time. I look at whether silence creates anxiety or understanding. With you, silence didn't threaten anything. It clarified it. When I say my feelings are real, I mean they're not built on need. Need creates pressure. Pressure distorts good decisions. What I feel doesn't ask to be rushed or validated. It stands on its own, confident enough to wait. Waiting isn't hesitation, it's respect. I respect what this could be enough to not force it into shape too early. Forced outcomes damage good systems. I won't do that. I'd rather let reality reveal itself than rush toward a conclusion that looks impressive but doesn't hold. I also want you to know that I don't perform emotion. When I care, it shows up in consistency and remembering what matters to you, and showing up the same way on ordinary days as I do on important ones. Performance fades. Pattern lasts. Pattern is what I trust. I've paid attention to how this connection behaves under low stimulation. No drama, no escalation, just presence. That's not boring to me. That's evidence. Evidence that something is aligned enough to exist without constant reinforcement. Real things don't need constant proof. My feelings are real because they didn't change who I am. They refined me. I didn't lose myself. I became clearer. When something is right, it doesn't require you to abandon your structure. It strengthens it. That's what happened. I'm also aware that asking, will you accept me, isn't about permission. It's about alignment. Acceptance to me isn't agreement with everything I am. It's understanding how I operate and deciding whether that rhythm fits yours. I won't ask you to change your pace to match mine. I won't speed up to match yours either. I respect rhythm. When rhythms align, things move naturally. When they don't, forcing alignment only creates friction. I don't want friction. I want something that works quietly, something that doesn't need to be defended or explained constantly, something that can exist during success and uncertainty without becoming unstable. That's what I'm offering. I'm not asking you to accept intensity. I'm asking you to accept steadiness, to accept someone who chooses carefully, commits deliberately, and stays present without needing to be chased or reassured. I don't disappear when things get quiet. I don't escalate to feel close. I don't withdraw to feel powerful. I stay, I observe, I adjust. That's how I build things that last. If you accept me knowing that I value honesty over comfort, clarity over speed, consistency over excitement. Those values don't fluctuate with mood or momentum. They're fixed. And if that feels unfamiliar, that's okay. Not everyone is built for this kind of connection. Some people need urgency. Some people need constant stimulation. I don't. I need alignment. I need respectful process. I need mutual understanding that real things don't rush. So when I ask, will you accept me? I'm not asking for reassurance, I'm offering transparency. This is how I love. This is how I choose. This is how I stay. If that fits you, then nothing here needs to be forced. If this message resonated with you, if you value clarity, long-term thinking, and building things that actually last, take a moment to like this video. If you appreciate honest conversations without noise, subscribe. And if something here felt personal, leave a comment, even a simple one. Progress matters, vision matters, building matters, and real connection only works when it's chosen with clarity. Stay grounded. There's more to come. My feelings for you are real, and this part isn't about convincing you of that. It's about letting you see how those feelings actually function in real life. Because feelings that can survive reality aren't real at all. They're reactions. What I feel is already lived in reality. Quiet days, long pauses, ordinary moments where nothing special is happening. That's where it stays. I don't rush closeness. I let it assemble. Assembly takes time and time reveals truth. People can perform for moments that can't perform consistently without revealing who they really are. I paid attention to that. I noticed how my behavior didn't become erratic around you. It became more disciplined. I wasn't checking my phone for reassurance. I wasn't questioning where I stood. I wasn't chasing responses to feel secure. The absence of anxiety told me everything I needed to know. Security doesn't announce itself, it stabilizes you. When I say my feelings are real, I mean they didn't arrive through fantasy. They arrived through observation, through noticing how you exist without trying to be anything more than you are. That authenticity matters to me more than perfection ever could. I don't fall in love with potential. I fall in love with patterns, with how someone shows up when nothing is being asked of them, with how they treat silence, with how they remain consistent without external pressure. Patterns don't lie. I also want you to know that I don't use emotion to escape discomfort. I don't attach to avoid loneliness. I don't chase closeness to fill gaps. I choose connection when it enhances stability, not when it replaces it. That choice is intentional. My feelings are real because they don't create urgency in me. They create patience. Patience is often misunderstood as hesitation. It isn't. It's confidence without noise. It's knowing something is solid enough to move at its own pace. I trust pace. I've learned that when people rush to define something, it's often because they're afraid it won't survive without constant reinforcement. I don't need reinforcement. I need alignment. Alignment holds without pressure. I want you to understand that I won't test you. I won't provoke insecurity to measure your interest. I won't withdraw to see if you chase. Those behaviors damage trust. Trust is the foundation of everything meaningful. I protect trust carefully. If you accept me knowing that I value steadiness over spectacle. I don't need emotional intensity to feel connected. I need consistency. I need reliability. I need clarity that doesn't fluctuate with mood or moment. That clarity is rare. My feelings are real because they didn't ask me to change who I am. They asked me to be more precise, more intentional, more respectful of timing and structure. When something is right, it doesn't demand chaos, it reduces it. That reduction matters. I also want you to know that I won't overwhelm you with expression. I don't speak endlessly about how I feel. I demonstrate it through presence, through follow-through, through staying grounded even when things are uncertain. Words are easy, consistency is not. If you want to accept me knowing that I won't disappear into this connection. I'll integrate it into my life without losing balance. I won't ask you to become my world, and I won't try to become yours. Balance allows growth. I don't believe luck should feel exhausting. It should feel supportive more often than it feels difficult. Difficulty will come, but it shouldn't be the default state. I build for support. My feelings are real because they don't rely on constant proximity. They hold even when there's space. Space doesn't scare me. Space allows clarity. It lets things exist without being suffocated. I don't suffocate what matters. If you accept me knowing that I move deliberately. I won't be rushed into decisions that affect structure. I won't avoid them either. I wait until they're ready to be made. That waiting is respect. I'm none offering perfection. I'm offering responsibility. Responsibility to communicate honestly, to show up consistently, to address issues before they accumulate. I don't leave things unfinished. My feelings are real because they've been patient without becoming passive, present without being demanding, strong without being loud. That's how I know they're real. If this part resonated with you, if you value calm, intentional connection, take a meant to like this video. If you appreciate thoughtful conversations without pressure, subscribe. And if something here reflected how you love too, leave a comment, even a simple one. Some connections don't need to be chased. They need to be recognized and then respected. My feelings for you are real. And this part is about how those feelings behave when nothing is asking for them. No questions, no tests, no moments designed to extract proof, just time moving forward the way it always does, quietly, steadily, without ceremony. That's where I've learned to trust what lasts. I don't measure connection by how strongly it announces itself. I measure it by how little it needs to be managed. If something requires constant attention to stay alive, it's not stable yet. Stability doesn't ask to be watched. It holds its shape on its own. That's what I've seen here. I noticed that my days didn't become heavier because of what I feel for you. They became simpler. Decisions didn't feel divided. Focus didn't scatter. My attention didn't fracture into urgency or dot. Instead, everything felt aliniki pieces moving in the same direction instead of competing for space. That's not coincidence, that's integration. When something integrates into your life, it doesn't disrupt the system, it improves it. It removes friction you didn't realize was there. It sharpens priorities instead of blurring them. That's what these feelings have done. They didn't take over this. I also want you to understand that I don't confuse emotional availability with emotional exposure. I'm available, but I'm measured. I don't unload feelings to feel closer. I share them when they're clear enough to be useful. Sharing something half-formed creates confusion, not intimacy. I choose clarity over immediacy. My feelings are real because they don't demand reaction. They don't pressure me to act before understanding settles. They're patient enough to let reality finish its work. Anything real has that patience. Impatience often signals insecurity. If you accept me knowing that I won't rush milestones to reassure myself or anyone else. I won't label something early just to feel certain. Certainty earned slowly lasts longer than certainty claimed quickly. I don't need to prove what I feel. I need it to remain true. Over time, I've learned that people often mistreat calm as lack of interest. Calm for me is confidence. It means I'm not trying to secure anything through force or performance. I'm allowing what's real to continue without interference. Interference breaks good systems. My feelings are real because they don't pull me away from who I am. They bring me back to it. When something is right, it doesn't require compromise of values or pace. It respects them. I haven't changed how I think. I've refined it. I haven't lost my independence. I've strengthened it. That's how I know this isn't dependency, it's choice. I also need you to know that I don't test people. I don't withdraw to see if they'll chase. I don't provoke insecurity to measure importance. Those tactics might feel emotional, but they're built on fear. Fear doesn't build anything sustainable. I build without fear if you accept me. Accept me knowing that I walk confused silence with distance. Silence is often where understanding deepens, where unnecessary noise falls away, and what matters remains. I'm comfortable there. Comfortable silence is rare. My feelings are real because they didn't make me louder. They made me more deliberate. I speak less because I don't need to persuade. I act more precisely because I know what matters. Precision is respect. I have also realized that what I'm offering isn't emotional intensity. It's emotional reliability. Reliability shows up when it's inconvenient, when nothing exciting is happening, when routine replaces novelty. That's when I stay. If you accept me knowing that I don't disappear when life becomes ordinary. I don't lose interest when things settle. That's when I become more certain, not less. Ordinary days are where durability is tested. My feelings are real because they don't rely on constant proximity. They don't weaken when there's space. Space allows things to breathe. It prevents attachment from becoming pressure. Pressure suffocates good things. I don't suffocate what matters. I want you to know that when I say, will you accept me? I'm not asking for approval. I'm asking for alignment of rhythm, alignment of values, alignment of how we each move through life without forcing the other to change pace. Force alignment always breaks later. I won't promise you intensity. I won't promise you constant emotional highs. I will promise you constancy, honesty, presence that doesn't fluctuate with mood or momentum. Those promises hold weight. My feelings are real because they've already been patient without becoming passive, present without being demanding, strong without being loud. That's not accidental, that's intentional. If this part resonates with you, if you recognize the value of calm, deliberate connection, take a moment to like this video. If you appreciate conversations built on clarity instead of noise, subscribe. And if something here reflected how you experience love too, leave a comment. even a simple one. Some feelings shout to be noticed. Others stay quiet because they're confident enough to last. My showings for you are real. And this part is about what happens when responsibility enters the picture. Because real feelings don't just exist in emotion, they show up in how someone handles weight. Responsibility is where intention gets tested. It's where attraction either matures or collapses. I don't take responsibility lightly. If you want to accept me, you need to know that I don't offer feelings without considering what they require. Feelings create expectations even when they're unspoken. They change how time is shared, how energy is allocated, how presence is maintained. I don't step into that without awareness. Awareness is respect. I've read that many people fall into feelings without accounting for the structure needed to support them. That's where disappointment comes from. Not lack of care, but lack of preparation. I prepare. I think ahead. I consider something will live in real conditions, not ideal ones. That's how I know what I'm offering can last. My feelings are real because they didn't arrive without discipline. I didn't let them override judgment. I let them integrate with it. Integration is difficult. It requires patience, restraint, and the willingness to slow down when excitement says speed up. I slowed down. If you accept me, knowing that I don't treat connection casually. I don't drift into closeness and hope it works. I decide. Then I align my actions with that decision. That alignment doesn't fluctuate based on mood. Consistency matters. I want you to understand that I don't disappear when things become complicated. I don't pull away when pressure shows up. I don't go quiet out of avoidance. I go steady out of intention. Steadiness is an emotional absent. It's emotional control. Control protects connection. I also need you to know that I won't confuse emotional honesty with emotional dumping. I won't place unprocessed weight on you and call it vulnerability. That's not fair. Vulnerability to me is sharing from a place of clarity, not confusion. I carry my own weight first. If you accept me knowing that I value resolution over release. Release feels good in a moment, resolution for repetition. I don't want the same issues resurfacing because they were never fully addressed. I address things fully. My feelings are real because they don't require you to manage me. I don't need to be soothed constantly. I don't need to be reassured daily. I've built internal stability. What I'm looking for is alignment, not caretaking. Caretaking creates imbalance. I also want you to understand that I won't ask you to abandon your life for this connection. I won't ask you to shrink your priorities. I won't position myself as the center of everything. That kind of love collapses under its own weight. I want balance. If you accept me knowing that respect will tell me, not as distance, but as dignity. Two whole people choosing each other creates strength. Two incomplete people leaning on each other creates pressure. I don't want pressure. My feelings are real because they didn't erase my independence, they refined it. I still think clearly, I still move deliberately, I still choose my direction consciously. Love didn't blur my vision, it sharpened it. That sharpening is intentional. I've also learned that people often confuse emotional depth with emotional chaos. I don't. Depth is quiet, chaos is loud. Depth creates understanding, chaos demands attention. I choose depth. If you accept me knowing that I don't compete for affection. I don't test loyalty. I don't create insecurity to feel valued. Value that needs to be extracted isn't stable. Stability is what I build on. I also need you to know that I won't rush future decision to satisfy expectation. I move when something is ready to carry weight, not when pressure builds to define it early. Pressure distorts judgment. Readiness protects structure. My feelings are real because they're patient without being passive. They're present without being intrusive. They're strong without being controlling. That balance didn't happen accidentally. If you accept me knowing that I don't promise perfection. I promise responsibility. Responsibility to show up honestly, to communicate clearly, to adjust softly when something needs attention. I don't avoid maintenance because everything real requires it. My feelings are real because they've already